if you get worried creating content, if you have this fear or judgment that someone's gonna laugh at your content when you're creating it, and you have this mental block behind creating content, creating good content, putting yourself out there, growing your personal brand, I want to give you some unlocks that you can use, that you can implement from this video that's going to help you overcome these beliefs and limiting beliefs and help you create more content. And because you create more content, you're going to be able to serve and help more people as a byproduct. I've probably created over 5,000 different pieces of content over the years. I have 3,000 posts on Instagram alone, so I have a lot on YouTube. I have a lot on TikTok and LinkedIn and stuff like that as well. But when I first started creating content, it wasn't easy for me, man. Like, I remember, and this is me taking myself back 10 years ago now. I remember doing the very, very first kind of talking head video like this. I was standing there filming this video. I filmed it in my car, in my old beaten up car at the time. I filmed that video. I was working as a personal trainer at the time. I filmed the video and I just finished my workout. I just finished my workout and I just finished my shift. So I did my shift in the gym, and then after I did my shift in my gym, in the gym, I worked out and I was in the car, in the car, just about to go home in the parking lot. And I remember this moment like it's like a daylight moment for me. And the reason I'm going to tell you this is because it's important, I think, for everyone. I finished this workout. I have this video filmed. It was my first ever video I filmed. I know where it was filmed. I remember where it was filmed. It was dark. It was a very bad video. But I was sitting there in the car, and at that moment I was like, if I don't post this video now, I never will. And even then on Instagram, I had the video, I had my phone, I had the video loaded, I had the caption written. I was checking over the video, I was checking over everything to make sure it was perfect. And even after this, I was still shaking over the publish button. I was physically shaking. I had this huge panic, this huge stress, this huge anxiety. And it's actually coming up a little bit now when I'm telling you the story. I had this, I was like literally shaking on the button because I knew the minute I posted this video, all the colleagues in my gym that I worked with were going to see this video. A lot of my old co-workers from McDonald's that I used to work in were going to see this video. A lot of the old students, a lot of people I was students with when I was in college and doing my GCSEs before that were going to see this video. And it was a very clear line in the sand moment at the time because no one else was doing these videos. And for me, it was almost like I had to let go of the old version of myself to become the new version I wanted to be. I wanted to create this content. I wanted to help all of these different people. But it was scary. And I'm saying this because I don't think there is an easy way to do this. I don't think there is an easy way to put yourself out there. You know, the very first video you do, you must have to embrace it. You must have to embrace that fear. You must have to embrace stepping into this new, uncomfortable, reality of who you want to become. Because change is scary. Evolution, adaptation is the hardest thing in the world. Like growth or going backwards is the hardest thing in the world. Staying the same is actually quite easy. And if you don't want to quit content, that's easy, right? It's easy to stay where you are. But I think the first thing you have to admit and the first thing you have to get real with yourself is, are you willing, are you prepared to go into this new evolution, this new adaptation as a business owner, as a coach, as a content creator, if you are? Just step fully into it. I had all of these thoughts before I post this video. I was thinking, and I tried to do this. I tried to remove everyone that followed me on this Instagram account that I might know. Try to remove the friends from my old school, the colleagues that I had in McDonald's before I joined the gym and started working as a personal trainer. But then at some point I realized it's inevitable. At some point, all of these people that I'm scared of, eventually they're going to find the content. Eventually they're going to see it anyway. And I either have to make the decision now that it's okay or not. And it's that uncomfortable decision that you really have to get very clear on with yourself. Do you want to grow? Do you want to take things to the next level? If you do, the cost is worth paying. If you don't want to take that risk and you don't want to take that cost of growth, then you can stay where you are. Either way is fine, but you just have to get very real and very honest with yourself about it. That's the very first thing I can tell you if you feel scared of creating content. The second part of this video, we're going to go more into the tactical stuff of content creation, how you can slowly get away from the fear. But the very first thing is just realizing that no one, or very few people weren't scared of making their first piece of content. I have very good friends that make 7 figures. I have had mentors making 8 figures in the online space. And I don't maybe 1 or 2 of those people, very rarely I know people that weren't scared of creating their first piece of content. Most people were. Most people, it was weird, it was uncomfortable, it was awkward. They had that fear. But it's like you walk through the gym for the first time, you have that fear of being judged, you have this fear of being uncomfortable. But what you realize is the only people that judge you afterwards is the people that are behind you. The only people that are going to judge you creating content are people that are not even doing it themselves, that have no idea what a good hook is. I have no idea what good lighting is. Do you know the only people that hated on the first video I did were the colleagues in the gym that never created a video, that looking back now haven't created a single video for social media, haven't created a single video for their content, but they were the ones judging me. They were the ones giving me the awful, they were the ones laughing at me. They were like, this video looks so bad. But they haven't done any videos themselves, right? And I still maybe have a little bit of that chip on my shoulder about in that kind of thing of wanting to prove people wrong, but that's a very much the truth of it. If you have to just get real with yourself, and you just have to realize that the only time people will judge you is people that are probably not doing much to begin with. And the second caveat I want to give you when it comes to content, and when it comes to putting yourself out there more with your content, is there's some tactical things you can do as well. People think about creating content and really going out there, right? Going out there and doing the talking head videos right away. Doing the talking head videos out in public, walking and talking and doing all of these stuff. But you can make them very simple to begin with. I remember one of the very first pieces of advice I got given from my mentor a decade ago now was to start creating video content, just talking on my Instagram stories first. Just showing my face, just being comfortable, just talking in front of camera, and just being comfortable with just putting myself out there. The reason Instagram stories work so fantastically well for most people is because the content you put out there isn't going to get seen by the whole world. It's physically impossible. The story you put out today of you talking and you showing something is going to disappear after 24 hours. So I think subconsciously us knowing that this story is probably going to get shown to 100, 200, 1,000 people at the most removes a lot of fear, for one, and it becomes easier. It's like when you start in the gym, if you start on the resistance machines first and you then progress into free weights, it's easier. You can do that with your talking head videos, very easily do it like that. The second thing you can do with your content to make the content creation easier, something I tell to my clients all the time when it comes to creating content, is to focus more on the documentation part of your content. Document more the journey you're on. What exciting thing are you doing? What exciting thing are you heading towards? If you're a fat loss coach and you're on your own fat loss transformation, you just talking about the fact that you are currently doing this and you're just a little bit further ahead than the people you're going to work with is extremely powerful, right? Documenting the journey, documenting where you want to go, documenting where your clients are already going with your help, documenting and just sharing your observation of stuff that's happening in the news, stuff that's already happening in real life, and just giving your opinion on stuff. If you're a fat loss coach, you've seen this supplement, you've seen this diet, you've seen this peptide, the easiest thing you can possibly do is just do the green screen thing. Just screenshot this thing that's happening, this article, this newspaper, whatever it might be, and just put the green screen behind and just say, hey, I've seen this. Here's why I think is good, or here's why I think it's a bit of trash. Here's why you shouldn't do it. Super easy content to create, super easy to spark conversations with and move forward. So start with the Instagram stories. Well, like before we start Instagram stories, get clear on the fact that it's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay to have the fear. But it's even better if you have the fear and you move forward regardless of the fear. That makes content a lot easier to create. That'd be the first thing. The second one is start with Instagram stories. This is more of a tactical thing, but start with Instagram stories. Just start documenting what you get up to. What time do you wake up? What do you journal in the morning? Do you just go straight to work? What do you do? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Imperfect content is way better than perfect content. People buy from people. People want to see that you're not perfect. It's easier for them to trust you if you do that anyway. So let go of your belief that content has to be perfect. It has to be super fleshed out. Makes creating a lot easier. That'll be the second thing. The third thing is just do more documentation type content. Document what you get up to, document what your clients get up to, document what's happening and share your observations. Do you know why the news as a mode, as a mean of content, is traditional news, like where people just share the news, here's what's happening in this country, here's the fighting that's happening in another country, here's what the conflict looks like. Do you know why that mode of content as a traditional kind of way has been going on for like hundreds of years now? Because they're not doing anything original. They're just documenting. They're just documenting stuff happening around the whole world. And they can literally do that forever because there's always going to be a small thing, a big thing, something in the middle, always happening. So if you want your content to feel easy, just document the conversations you're having with your clients, document the journey you're on, and document the journey your clients on, and document what's happening in the world, right? These three things: your clients, your own story, what's happening around the world. Make it relevant to your journey though, make it relevant to your offer. If you're a fitness coach, no need to speak about money or battles that are happening in the world. Talk about like stuff relevant to your offer around the news, peptides, diets, training plans, whatever it might be. Makes it easier. That'll be the biggest things I can give you from this video. If you want to make your content easier to create, more fun to do. And when it's more fun for you, it'll be more enjoyable, more interesting, more fun for your audience to listen to as well. If you do find this content, this piece of video helpful, if you did have this fear and you do want to solve it, then make sure to hit like, because it might come back in the future. You might have this thing I had in my chest. I had this like fear, anxiety for a while in my chest until I started doing something about it. But if you do have that fear and you're worried about it, make sure to hit like on this video. You can always find it when you need to rehear it. Make sure to hit subscribe because I post on here a ton of content about starting, building, scaling an online business. It'll probably be useful to you, some of the other content as well, as you start creating more content. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.